Welcome into the Sports Objective. We appreciate everyone tuning in whenever and however you're watching or listening, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And remember, our show can also be found in audio only or podcast form, pretty much everywhere podcasts are found, including but not limited to Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, and Spotify. We're just over 3 weeks from opening day, or exactly 3 weeks from opening day. And right now on our D1 baseball preview for the state of North Carolina, we're joined by the third-year head coach of the Gardner Webb Running Bulldogs, Jim Chester. Coach, we appreciate your time this morning.
No, thank you. Awesome. It wouldn't be the start of a baseball season without speaking to you.
Always enjoy our chat, and we look forward to talking about your Diamond Dogs this morning. Year one, an abbreviated year one back in 2020. You went 8-8 last year, 29-23, and had the best finish in program history in the Big South, 27-13.
Yeah, last year was a great year. Unique type group, and 2020 really set the stage for 2021. I mean, we were set to lose 12 seniors, and if I remember correctly, 8 of them came back, which were really impact players for us, and really have set the groundwork and had some success last year to let the guys on our roster know like what it takes to play a high level at a high level baseball.
You take a look at last season. You had a little bit of a slow start, but then you really played tremendous baseball down the stretch. I think you went something like 26-14 after a 3-9 start. You did play the likes of Georgia and Campbell right out of the gate, so a challenging start. So just talk about a little more on the season on a whole and the way your ball club developed.
Yeah, I think that definitely we went and again, we started the year. We opened up with Wofford, who was the SoCon regular season champs, and they were tremendous. Then we had Georgia and then Campbell, and so I think a lot of it had to do with being battle tested. Had some adversity early on. Did have, even with the returners that we had some new that was meshing in, and it's the guys probably get tired of hearing me say it, but the whole year, the season, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So that was just the first leg of the marathon, and just we're kind of finding our footing. So what we needed to do. So it was like I said, it was a good run last year.
Let's take a look at this year's ball club as you enter 2022 and start with your pitching staff. I know you return a couple of tremendous arms.
It's interesting. I'm going to be biased here when I say this, but I thought we had the best arm in the country last year in Mason Miller. Again, that's a coach being biased. He went in the third round of the Oakland A's and was tremendous talent. We lose him. And I think that from top to bottom, our staff is in a better place than it was a year ago. Do we have guys that are 97 to 100? No, we don't quite have that running around this year. But the talent level, the commitment, all the things that are needed to have success on that part of the field is really there in our pitching staff. So we're really excited to watch this group this year.
And who are some of those guys that you expect to see significant contributions from? I know I was reading the notes on your website as far as Kyle Skidmore said he was your top reliever in 2021, 5-1, and had a save in 21 appearances, and he had the opportunity to do what a lot of college baseball players strive to do, and that's play up in Cape Cod over the summer.
Yeah, Kyle's definitely a big piece. He's tremendous. They call him the old man on the team. He's he's in I believe it's his 6th year of college baseball with the COVID and everything. He's finishing his master's degree, and he's what an outstanding. Forget about the numbers, just the leadership piece he brings every day. How he goes about his business, his work ethic. It's infectious amongst the group, and tremendous young man. I'll tell you an interesting piece about Kyle and the Cape. He had an opportunity to do that, which we all dream of, having that opportunity. His father, his brother, and himself all played in the Cape, which I think is pretty cool. So that's an interesting fact about Kyle Skidmore.
Yeah, that is definitely very interesting. Unique opportunity for those gentlemen, and shift over and take us around the horn very quickly. Position by position. Let's start with your infield.
Yeah, we got a junior college transfer projected to play a good bit of third. Dagan Brady from the Osho in Kansas. We have Alex Ray at shortstop, who was the starting shortstop at Louisiana Tech last year. They hosted a regional. Talented, super talented young man. AJ Jones is a young man from Eastern North Carolina that was a role player for us last year. That's going to step in and have some impact in our lineup going into the season. Also have a grad transfer in Alec Burns from West Virginia. Physical kid, hit 7 home runs for the Mountaineers last year. I think it's gonna have really be enhance our lineup. Pete Capobianco is a sophomore from Pennsylvania that can literally play any position. Every day probably could be catching, third, short, first. I mean, you could put this kid anywhere. He's going to be a staple in our lineup. Also have Trevor Masson. He's a Division III grad transfer from Pennsylvania via California. Swing the bat. He's also pretty versatile. Probably going to be in a DH position. Play some third. Play some first. We've got a lot of versatility there, and just excited to watch that group play too.
What about out in the outfield? What do you return, or maybe what do you bring in that has a chance to be significant contributors?
Yeah, I think the leader in our outfield is Curtis Robeson. He's a grad transfer from Penn State. Everyday guy there. Was a young man I recruited out of high school. Geez, what now, 4 or 5 years ago when I was at Lock Haven, and blessed that he's able to be here with us. Physical left-handed hitter, good athlete. Going to be able to leave the yard. Excited about him. Benino Mandela is in his third year here, but a COVID sophomore. Role guy, was a pinch runner, defensive replacement. It's his time now to go out there and run around the field and put up some numbers. We're excited to see the things he can do as an everyday guy. Nate Anderson and Jacob Marcos are two young, well, not young guys. Nate's a redshirt freshman that's got a bright future in our program. Jacob Marcos is a COVID junior, probably one of the fastest guys in the Big South. Can go get it as good as anybody I've ever coached. And those two guys are going to be manning down center field and complementing each other. And just a deep group that I think that if anything happens to anybody, I think the next man up is going to be a pretty special replacement.
You've obviously already referenced on several of these guys, but just on the whole, when you take a look at the numbers, how many guys do you have coming in? How many new pieces to your roster?
There's a lot. It's funny. It's Coach Marks and I were speaking the other day about that last year we were playing. I forget one of the series at the end of the year, and we're kind of looking out as the guys are getting ready before the inning started. And I said, Coach, nobody on that field's back next year. Do you know what I mean? So it's we position player wise, we've got a lot of new guys as far as it goes. Seems to be the trend in college baseball. I mean, there's a lot of transferring going on, a lot of different things. I think that trying to you can replace pieces pretty quick nowadays. So to give you, I'll be honest with you, I really don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head. We have, one place we did not speak about was behind the dish yet, but we do have a returner back there in Bo Rusher from Salisbury, North Carolina. Third-year guy, COVID sophomore, just a blue-collar type kid. It's really developed and grown, and he's gonna do some good things this year too, as on the returning end. Most of our returners come on the mound.
And before we talk about your schedule on that topic about the transfer portal, exactly what are your thoughts there? You talk about bringing in a guy or two at least from that route this year. That's kind of a new phenomenon, being able to transfer within the Division I ranks. And normally you would have had to transfer down to play immediately, but that's no longer the case. You have that one-time transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So when a guy is going to be coming in probably for just 1, maybe 2 years, talk about that dynamic and deciding whether it's a fit for your program and so forth.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that Bubba, I think that every coach, if you interviewed 100 coaches, they're going to tell you different things. I think there's the side of the coach who'll sit here and tell you that maybe that they lost 3 or 4 of their better players to the portal for whatever reason. So it's that they may not like it. Last year in the portal, in the transfer portal from the grad transfer route, we added a 3rd-round draft pick, an all-region designated hitter, an everyday third baseman. I can go down the list here of some guys that came in and made an immediate impact. And also, too, Gardner Webb is an outstanding option for grad transfers. I mean, we have, we've got the right majors in a lot of ways, and they're 10-month majors. And, I think that I tell everybody this: a year is a long time. So, I mean, it's when you look at the big picture, sometimes people say, well, you only get somebody for a year or two. And I go, I don't know. We had a good run last year, and I think that run helped put our program in a better place than it was the year before. And if that can allow us to get in and, as far as our brand, our marketability, our recruitment, everything that we do, it's all a benefit in my view.
Coach, as always, you play a tremendous schedule. You have the opportunity to host a Jerry Bryson Classic there in Bowling Springs, and you have UVA out of the ACC coming in. Awesome opportunity, and then you have a series down at Georgia Tech, and then within the league, you get Campbell at home this year.
Yeah, the 22 slate's a good one. Definitely some marquee opponents, especially at home. I mean, what an outstanding opportunity to play Virginia opening weekend here in Bowling Springs. Also have Wake Forest coming to town in April, so outstanding there. Get to go head to North Carolina, head to South Carolina. Got a weekend trip to Georgia Tech, who is in every single preseason ranking anywhere, I believe, from 7 or 8 to 18, somewhere in that. So they're going to be outstanding. So again, we're the goal for us is to win our first Big South championship in program history. For us to put ourselves in that position, we have to play the most challenging schedule as possible. And I believe that we've set forth the groundwork here to really have our young men battle tested when it comes, late May, when we're trying to compete for a championship.
And final thing for you is we wrap this up and just talk about some of the other things that recruits get excited about, and when they visit campus, and then they make your ability to prepare a little bit easier and so forth. Talk about your facilities there at GW.
Sure. I think that the best thing a lot of times anybody watching is please go on social media and follow us, GW Baseball on Twitter and Instagram. We have an outstanding group that updates those things, and we keep everything moving in the right direction. I mean, we just constantly recruiting is the lifeblood of our program. We want to showcase the things that we have. Just got brand new turf infield. It's amazing. There's an extra bounce in our player steps in this preseason practice, being able to get out on that surface. Brand new bullpen that got finished 4 wide, 11 plyo stations. We're also covering that here in the next month. The training area where the plyo stations are. So we're going to be able to get some things done in inclement weather. Starting a huge fundraising phase for an indoor facility, 120 by 120 turf, 4 cages, the opportunity to have 4 lanes to pitch in, bullpen areas. So we got a lot of good things moving in the right direction. Couldn't happen without the support of the institution, our athletic administration, and just a vision from our coaching staff, and to work at it day in and day out.
Well, Coach, you certainly had success wherever you've been, and definitely trending that way there in Bowling Springs, doing some unprecedented things within the Big South Conference. Congratulations to you and your staff, and we look forward to having you back on down the road.
No problem. Thank you, Bubba, and thanks for what you do for college baseball, especially in North Carolina.